All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, the great millstone who teach and rule well. And peace, love, and salutations to the Akim that's out there laboring, that's out the hopeful elect, that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. And pretty much, this is a Fox News alert, pretty much speaking about Donald Trump pretty much attempting to close the airspace over Venezuela. Okay, now the Lord is pretty much provoking this whole scenario. Well, with what's going on with the United States being the aggressor, you know, and we know that we're heading into this third world war, and this war will be taking place on many different fronts around the world. You know, just how it was in World War One and World War Two. You know, this is the third war which cometh quickly. Okay, now I'm gonna play this little clip. It's a short, um, and then even when you read the comment board, you see the pride of Edom. You know, is at an all time high. You know, and then you got these regular Joe Schmo Joe six packs that really believe that this is a us against them type of thing. You know, when this is the least that they need to be worried about. Okay, because pretty much now, you know, and it's really for a topic for another discussion. But at the end of the day, you know, this is why they are all pretty much going to receive the same judgment. Okay, the nation of Edom, they're going to receive it as a nation. It's because of their spirit that they have in them. Okay, all right, they're a different manner of people, and it doesn't matter from the top to the bottom. Even if the bottom was in power with their uh, demonic mentality, okay, they will be doing the exact same thing as these higher ups are doing. Okay, you see, but these Joe Schmo six packs that are pretty much on these comment boards, pretty much do not have a piece of the pie, because what does this benefit them at the end of the day? You know, but pretty much I'm gonna play this clip, and we're gonna get into some type of information, okay, and the ties that Venezuela actually has with Russia, okay. But without any further ado, we'll play this clip.
News alert: President Trump moments ago appearing to signal what's next for Venezuela in a new Truth Social post saying, quote, "To all airlines, pilots, drug dealers, and human traffickers, please consider the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela to be closed in its entirety." This news comes as Trump carries out a crackdown on alleged narco-terrorists targeting the U.S.
Okay, now pretty much now, all right, the narrative is that you know, Venezuela is pretty much you know, smuggling drugs into the US. And we know that pretty much if you are any type of have any type of common sense, you know, which, you know, they pretty much dumb down the people in this country to believe that, you know, Venezuela is not even nowhere near the top contributors of drugs into this country. Okay, first and foremost, though, you know, we have the alphabet groups that pretty much have a hand in that, and they pretty much monitor and benefit off of that, first and foremost. And it doesn't come from countries like a country like Venezuela. Okay, you would get it more like Bolivia or Peru. You see, okay. Now, you know, the narrative has been going on that they are somehow, some way, uh, bringing this stuff in on speedboats, which pretty much cannot reach the shores of America with a speedboat. Okay, all right. You would have to pretty much refuel that speedboat 20 times over, man, before you even can even get to the shores of America, man. You see, so pretty much, you know, that's the narrative that's going on. But we pretty much know that Venezuela, you know, has the largest oil reserves in the entire world. And being now that you're seeing now, countries are aligning themselves together to combat any type of sanctions that the U.S. imposes on the world, and pretty much combating the petrodollar, which has had a stronghold on the world's economy. And we're seeing that people are pretty much moving away from the dependency of that petrodollar. You know, the BRICS is an alliance that has been formed, to go against the West, pretty much in the EU. Okay, now you're seeing now that the rest of these countries, the likes of Russia, China, India, Brazil, they are all pretty much bilateral connections as far as financial, military, um, and just trades of goods. And now the West is pretty much being cut off from the rest of the world. So now, you know, um, Trump pretty much now is going to provoke um, his power, okay, on Venezuela, okay, because of the natural resources that are there, okay. Now the person that's in power now, Maduro, is not trying to play ball with them anymore, okay, and pretty much, you know, they need these resources to pretty much keep their empire going, okay. So now pretty much them being cut off for the world, they're gonna go right into their backyard and try to colonize these countries, man. This country pretty much, man. All right. But we're gonna pull up real quick on CP chat the military alliance that Russia has with Venezuela. Okay. Now I want to just hone in on the connection that includes types of military agreement and support. Okay. Now they pretty much are trading as far as with energy, oil, and pretty much, they trade with goods and services, and pretty much Russia is actually giving Venezuela a helping hand at building up the economy, so to speak. Okay, now let's read this here. This is what's the cooperation includes types of military agreements and support. Under the 2025 Strategic Partnership Agreement between Russia and Venezuela, there is a formal commitment to military technical cooperation, meaning Russia provides weapons, equipment, training, and defense industry support to Venezuela. Okay, so pretty much now through espionage and spies that pretty much that these countries pretty much have, this pretty much this move that the U.S. is making on Venezuela was pretty much called out long ago, and knowing that this time would come. So these pretty much Russia has made agreements with Venezuela to protect their so-called assets, so to speak. Okay, all right, because now Russia has a common interest in the products that Venezuela produces. Okay, the resources. You see, okay, but instead of Russia colonizing them like how the West would do, Russia pretty much is partners with them, and to help them build them up to a level, and to give them military support. So this is what's going on here now. Okay, so this is pretty much not going to be a pretty much a quick walk in the park. Okay, to come up against Venezuela. Okay, all right, we're gonna read more. All right, but it says, Russia has long served as a primary supplier of Russian-made arms and hardware, fighter jets, air defense systems, tanks, armored vehicles, artillery, small arms, helicopters, and more. Beyond supplying hardware, cooperation also extends to licensed production. Russia has helped to build a domestic ammunition assault rifle factory in Venezuela. All right, pretty much that's pretty much speaking about that AK, that the Kalashnikov, okay, which is a weapon of that many countries use, okay, in war, okay, AK-47. Okay, and enables Venezuela to locally produce small arms ammunition under Russian technology transfer. Okay, so they pretty much have a full ongoing commitment to pretty much building up and having Venezuela produce their own arms, these Russian-made arms, which are, hey, they got the licensing deal to build these weapons. Okay, so the technology is really already in place with Venezuela. Okay, you see, all right. So we pretty much have air defense systems. Okay, so this is not going to be pretty much a easy walk in the park. Okay, with the U.S., man. Okay, and it's going to pretty much provoke further strain on the ties between Russia and the U.S. Okay, right? It's as there was also reportedly coordination on intelligence and security cooperation, reflecting a broader, more strategic alliance rather than a simple buy and sell arms relationship. So this is just more deeper than just a buy and sell relationship. Okay, it's much more deeper though. They pretty much are building up their military. They're building them up with the right equipment to pretty much defend against the West. Okay, this is what's going on right here. Okay, this is not a walk in the park, and they know that. Okay, the U.S. pretty much senses that. This is the reason why they have a lot of those aircraft carriers that are pretty much going into the region, man. Okay, so this is pretty much it's going to be built up to something of more than it's going to get physical, man. Okay, it's going to get physical. It says major weapons and defense systems supplied or supported by Russia. All right, so it talks about some of the main types of military capabilities Russia has provided for or helped Venezuela maintain include Air Force and combat aircraft. Okay, multi-role fighter jets. Okay, all right, giving Venezuela Air Force significant reach and flexibility. Air defense systems, multiple layers of air defense from long range to short range systems, including the S-300. Okay, long range anti-air missiles. Okay, medium range surface to air missile systems, point defense or short range systems like the Panzer S-1 or short range anti-aircraft guns. You see, and the list goes on and on now. Okay, all right, with this what's going on, because this is not going to be an easy walk in the park, man. Okay, all right, they have built up and have the technology, okay, to defend themselves. Okay, and with the proper training, they may be able to prevail. But this is all the Lord, though. They already know how the story ends, man. Okay, we already know how the story ends at the end of the day, man. Okay, but this world's war must needs to come to pass, man. All right, this is Job, chapter 15, verse 20. This is from the this is the GNT, right? This is Job 15 verse 20. It says, "The wicked who oppress others will be in torment as long as they live. Voices of terror will scream in their ears, and robbers attack when they think they are safe. They have no hope from escaping from darkness." Edom's pretty much went off the deep end, man, and he's fully submersed in his wickedness, man. Okay, you see, it says, "For somewhere a sword is waiting to kill them, and vultures are waiting to eat their corpses. They know their future is dark. Disaster, like a powerful king, is waiting to attack them. That this is the fate of those who shake their fist at the Most High and defy the Almighty." Okay, this man has pretty much setting himself up through his technocracy. Okay, to pretty much be like the Most High. Okay, all right. This man is defying everything that is of proper order. All right, that the Most High has set up, and pretty much trying to exceed that. Okay, you see, it says they are proud and rebellious. Right, that's Edom. Right, they stubbornly hold up their shields and rush to fight against the Most High. Okay, and it pretty much, man, also the Lord's people, man. Okay, all right, because they are the Venezuelans are among the tribes down there, man. Okay, you see, all right, and this man is pretty much dead set on pretty much conquering them and pretty much colonizing them, man. Okay, you see, it says they are the ones who captured cities and seized houses whose owners had fled. But war will destroy those cities and houses. They will not remain rich for long. Nothing they own will last. Even their shadows will vanish. They will not escape from darkness. They will be like trees whose branches are burned by fire, whose blossoms are blown away by the wind. They are a fool. If they are foolish enough to trust in evil, then evil will be their reward. Okay, if you live by the sword, you're gonna die by the sword, man. You know. Okay, the Lord gives you over to your own will. Okay, to destruction at the end of the day. Okay, so this is pretty much what we're gonna see. We're gonna witness this, man. Okay, you know, and like I said, you know, when you want to sit here and talk about the military and everything else, man, and the way that the things that has been going here in this country, economy wise, morale is very low. Okay, you know, but the military pretty much these jarheads. Okay, all right, they don't even know what they're fighting for. You see, they would firmly believe that they're trying to fight drugs, man. Why would you do it on this type of scale, man? Okay, okay, all right. There's something to be had with this. It's not just to be getting rid of drugs, man. It's for natural resources, man. Okay, these countries are scrambling for their stake in the earth, man, to remain relevant, man. You see, okay. It says, before their time is up, they will wither like a branch and never be green again. They will be like vines who lose their unripe grapes, like olive trees that drop their blossoms. They will be no descendants for the godless people, and fire will destroy the homes built by bribery. These are the ones who plan trouble and do evil. Their heart is always full of deceit. Okay, and the deceit right now is the narrative that's being painted, man. Okay, here it is, man. You got this country, which is the most drug-infested country in the world. Okay, and people are consuming drugs at a high rate, man. Okay, let alone over-the-counter drugs, man. Okay, this is a drug-induced society that we're living in, man. Okay, all right. So there's definitely a healthy supply and demand for drugs, man. Okay, so that's definitely not going to be the case. Okay, because the alphabet agencies have that on lock anyway. Okay, that's just how they're able to even get into this country with that, man. But to believe that these people are coming in with drugs on a speedboat to feed the vices of America is pretty much ludicrous, man. Okay, you see, okay, this is far more deeper than what the masses of the people would stand to believe, man. Okay, you see, only people that have really pretty much critical thinking really know what's going on, man. Okay, to really figure out, man, there's a bigger agenda that's going on, man. Okay, and it's gonna be met with great resistance, man. You see, okay, and it's really gonna draw more tension, okay, between Russia and the United States, man. Okay, all right. Now we already had one front now that's going on with them, all right, in Ukraine. Now this is going to be another front now, okay. You see, and this is pretty much going to be in the United States backyard, man. Okay, all right. We're talking about the down in South America, man. Okay, you see, all right. So that pretty much that whole Caribbean Sea, man, will soon be a war zone, man. Okay, you see, all right. So hey, pretty much keep our eyes open. Keep watching for the prophecies to pass, man. Okay, all right. This man has totally gone rogue, man. And this war right here, this front right here, will be met with resistance, man. Okay, so it's not gonna be a easy walk in the park, man. Okay. Pretty much, man, the nations are pretty much building themselves up, man, to protect themselves, man. Okay, you see, so there's a great consensus around with these other nations, man. Okay, all right, The weak are now saying that they're strong, man. Okay, that's essentially what's going on right now in these last days, man. Okay, and this is all fitting perfectly to biblical prophecy, man. Okay, so this is pretty much another front that's going to be started with this third woe, man. Okay, all right. So pretty much I'm gonna end it there, and I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh. Shalom.